All right. Uh, what's up, Scott? Yeah, was there not an email that went out today?
I didn't get it. No, I was digging for it.
Uh, it did go out, but I'm not sure. You might have gotten taken off the list or something.
That's okay.
Yeah, got blacklisted from our email list. All right. We do have a question. So from Luis. Um, the question is, thank you for having this call. Also, I've been looking for leads in weather maps for cold calling, but not sure who I should call. Do you have any new I'm gonna
Nuance.
say new nuances that you've discovered to cold call and put those leads into the CRM? Yeah, I'm not an expert on that. Scott, do you have any insights on that for
Been
cold
looking for
calling?
leads in weather maps. So, I mean,
Like Hail Trace?
yeah, you could definitely use Hill Trace or GAF. Is that which one's the GAF one? GAF Weather Hub.
Weather
Uh,
Watch or something? Or is it Weather
Weather
Hub?
Watch. No, Weather Watch is their ice and water shield, but I think it's
Oh.
called Weather Hub. Anyway, GAF makes one, and I actually demoed it, and it's great. You can put in your parameters for like size of hail or strength of wind, and then set date parameters, and from there you can basically pull regions that you could then target with cold calling. So cold calling, cold email, whatever your cold outreach would be. But that's how I would do it. We don't do it, but that is how I would do it.
Louis says he's using Hail Trace for this. I believe, Luis, you can correct us if I'm wrong on this. I don't think Hail Trace actually gives you the phone numbers. They're probably just going to give you the addresses, maybe, or even I would imagine the addresses is what's going to give you. Um, I haven't personally used Hail Trace. We are going to probably have an integration with them at some point, but um, you can absolutely take a list of addresses if that's what you're able to get out of Hail Trace. And there's like a ton of different, I don't have one that I would like recommend per se, but if you just search Google for like lead enrichment, you can get, I believe it's called skip tracing. You can get all of the contact information for those addresses. Now, it is illegal to cold contact those without an opt-in. So you are like be aware of that. You can go knock on their door, but if you cold email them as a B2C, you're just a normal customer, homeowner, and they're not businesses, right? If you cold email them or cold call, you will be in violation of FTC guidelines. So Renee said they do give you the numbers. Okay, cool. So they do give you the numbers in Hail Trace. So yeah, so you have the numbers in there. So I don't think either Scott, you guys haven't used Hail Trace at all.
No,
Okay, so I guess we may just not be very qualified. Um,
I wouldn't be real qualified for that question, but that's
okay, Luis. So Luis is asking, what do we do since this? Well, a lot of people just still cold call. So there's that. But you can potentially go knock. You can't, I believe you can cold call. You can't cold text message and you can't cold email. But I believe you actually can pick up the phone and call them voice. And I believe that's okay. Um, but I'm not an attorney. It also might differ state to state.
right. I'd
Um,
say that, yeah, I would definitely check with local attorneys, see what the gig is on that. But I mean, we do. So I'll be honest, we do cold outreach, but we do it with businesses, and that's different from my understanding. With
Very different, yeah.
B2B, we are allowed to text, email, call because they're listing their number online. We literally found it on the internet. It's not hard to get. So we're utilizing campaigns that we've built in ProLine for cold outreach with property managers, realtors, HOA president, just whatever number we can find for an HOA, Usually it's going to be the president or secretary that goes to um, other trades like HVAC companies. Hey, why not? Like an HVAC guy's probably not a roofer, so why not try to do a little cold outreach and maybe it turns into something.
Partnership or something.
Right, exactly. So that's how we utilize a cold outreach inside of ProLine is just go B2B. And you can go pretty far with that. I mean, just think about realtors alone. I mean, every single realtor is essentially their own business. So you can literally I have one campaign for Morgantown, I think has 1,200 realtors in the greater Morgantown area. I mean, even if people hate working for realtors because they just tire kick all the time, that's 1,200 people. Like they're homeowners too. So, I mean, that just whether you like work for realtors or not, there's a freaking pile of them.
Yeah,
So far, we've booked some great appointments and done some great inspections for realtors off that campaign. So,
that's good. That's
yeah,
really good. Justin said in the chat here that he's used Hail Trace. So it seems like we have a few people that have used Hail Trace. If anyone has insights and like kind of wants to share like what's been working for them on Hail Trace, put that into the chat and I'll send it back. I'll send it out to everyone. I will circle back in a little bit on it. So, yeah, I mean, it's up to you guys. If you like Justin, if you want to share like what's been working with you for Hail Trace, then Justin said I've ordered lists for contact info. I think the question that Luis had was, what do you do with that contact list? Are you cold calling that contact list? Are you sending cold emails out? Because there's some legality concerns with emailing lists of homeowners that haven't opted into things. So I think that's the main question here is what can you? Oh, so Justin's saying that put together a flyer mailer. Yeah. So you could send, I forgot about that. You could send targeted mail to just those,
that's a great
um,
idea.
or using a call center, which is what we were talking about. I believe in most states it is legal to do cold calling. It's specifically text messaging and email that you can get in a lot of trouble with if you're sending that. Um, you can. It's like, yeah. Justin saying with, um, yep, yep. Justin saying with Dope Marketing, which we love Dope Marketing. They're a partner with us. So you can like send them the list and then they can send out mailers. Okay. So we'll circle back. Yeah, it's state to state. So make sure you might need to talk to an attorney locally. Jack has a question here. Jack says, I'm a brand new company. I'm trying to offer financing to my customers. I got rejected by WiseTac. Any other good financing options out there that will work with a new company? I kind of a follow-up question that I have to that is, did WiseTac say it was because you were a new company, or did they give some other reason? Because that would kind of change, I think, the answer. But Scott, do you have any immediate answers to that?
He answered time in business, and that is an issue,
Yeah,
because finance company, and I don't really understand why. I mean, I don't really know why it matters too much. But yeah, I do know that that is a factor. So there's a couple. I would try, obviously, Scoville. I always recommend him for financing. We literally just finished his stuff last week. It's fantastic. I think if implemented correctly, it could be a big deal for us. Trying to think there's another one, Aqua Finance, I think is another company. Um, but yeah, I think that's not one I've used. That's one I've heard good things about. The problem is if you're real new and nobody's going to take you, you're probably unfortunately going to have to look at something like Hearth or Green Sky. Um, and just be prepared. You're really going to probably struggle to see people get approved for their lending because it's real. From what I've heard, it's very difficult to get approvals. But at least you could offer something until you have a little bit, you know, longer business history to get some better options.
yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Green Sky, Hearth. The You could also kind of just coach like the a homeowner can always just go to their bank and ask for a loan. They can just say, "Hey, I want a home improvement loan. I'm replacing my roof." And they can just go to their bank they already have a relationship with and ask for a loan. So you don't necessarily have to actively offer it. You could coach them and just say, "Hey, by the way, you can use financing. I recommend talking to wherever you bank, going into that bank and just asking them, here's my quote. Like you can finance this if you need to with your bank. It's not ideal, but it's kind of so I've used Hearth when I was in sales. It sucked. Yeah. Renee says they use Clover, which I think is the point of sale company, I believe. But they might have a financing solution built in.
Um,
Um, yeah, you're responding on. So yes, Chris Scoville is with Improvify. Do you want to? Should we drop?
yeah, you can put that in the chat, but they basically have a group of options that they put together for you to where you can offer different types of lending, and then they'll kind of work with you to implement it. So, um, it does come with a fee, an upfront fee, but there's a lot of back end support that I think is really valuable.
Yeah, let me see. Improvify. Yeah. This is good from Justin. Is this Justin Pierce? Which Justin is this that we're talking to here? Ah, Justin Mefford. Okay.
We should require first and last.
I wonder if we can do that.
No, I'm just teasing.
Yeah, this is good from Justin. So talk to your supplier. See if they have any introductions they can do. Like maybe local, like you might be able to find a local credit union through your supplier, have the supplier vouch for you, and then maybe also you do some business through that credit union. And you'd be like, hey, like I live in this community, like I'm right down the street. Our kids go to the same school. I need financing for these roofs. Maybe they can set you up with something. And that in the meantime, at least can tie you over.
Yeah, I know ABC used to be kind of in bed with Green Sky to a certain degree to where they would get you, they could get you in it.
Yeah. Yep. Um, yeah. Let me see. Yep, absolutely, Jack. So, and then Clover, Renee was Clover. Is that the POS system, Clover? Um, do they have financing built in? Is that what you're saying? Or is it a different Clover that I'm unaware of? If you want to share that. Justin said that's how he got Green Sky was ABC Supply
Yeah.
made an intro to Green Sky.
Yep.
So, yep, absolutely, Luis. And okay, so yeah, if you guys have any other questions, let me see. Yeah, if you have any other questions, keep putting those in the chat. We love answering, y'all's questions. Um, Renee said, nah, not sure. David handles a lot of that. No, no problem at all. I was just curious. Um, okay, so I'm gonna pull up our list of questions until unless you guys have more stuff, and we'll kind of go through some of our own here. Did not have a chance to bring it up. Is it still super slow for you guys, Scott, with the snow?
I mean, we're not working. I got up this morning, it was 4 degrees outside. So we're not working, but it's weird. We're still selling some jobs. I mean, we're not selling a bunch, but we're selling like, seems like 2 or 3 jobs a week.
Yep.
Um, Here the last couple weeks.
You scheduling for the future? How's that working?
That's all we can do. And literally, we're just telling them when things break, we'll get you a little better idea of time. There's no way to even give an idea right now because right now, basically, well, next week they're showing negative temperatures. I mean, so what do you can't plan ahead. So
Yeah.
Friday we have a day that's going to get up around 40. So everything will be melted off enough. We're going to go put a couple metal jobs on so we can do that. But yeah, overall the weather's just not allowing us to work. But it's funny the sales we're getting are from like we're getting some sales that were from like June. And I think it's ProLine follow up. Um, hopefully maybe a little better economy coming into 25, just some different stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah. Fingers crossed the economy is good. Good in 2025. Um, all right, so got a question here from our list. How do you guys, for rain stoppers, use before and after photos in your marketing? Do you use before and after photos?
we do. We haven't done it as much recently, and we need to get better at it because my guys kind of got bad at doing uh, drone photos before the job. We do a lot of really good drone photos after, and they kind of got, I don't know what happened. They just kind of quit doing it for a long time. But yes, there's I don't think there's any like photo more powerful for Facebook than before and afters. Um, I think video is better, but as far as like you gotta photo content's good too. Like it's just you gotta have the right content, and I think before and after photo content is probably the best. Just like right now, we're putting up a bunch of pictures of just completed roofs. I mean, to the regular eye, just scrolling across Facebook, they don't give a shit. They're not going to stop because it just looks like a stock photo because it's a really high-end HD camera taking a picture of a brand new roof.
Right.
Who know, we do have a little watermark on them, but nobody knows that that's real, so
Yeah.
it doesn't stop them from scrolling. What stops them from scrolling is the wow factor of like dump and new side by side. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
a really ugly roof versus a brand new one. That will at least stop them for just that second to where they see your name, they recognize who it is, things like that.
Yeah.
Maybe even react, a like or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think people want something they can engage with and they can and like looking at it before versus after is something they can engage with and it engages the mind a little bit. It's multidimensional. The one
Yeah.
thing that I've um always brought up when it comes to before and afters and been very intentional about when I was doing, marketing for John's company and it's very important that you actually label before and after very clearly. Ideally, um, ideally, you would have it be in one image somehow, either like with a split
Yes.
down the middle or a line through like a diagonal line. And so you're getting one image, and in one image, the someone is seeing both versions in one image. Because even if you have them well labeled, if you do a social media post and you have two pictures, one is before, even if it's labeled before, and then one is after, there is a real chance that some people are going to see that before because it's probably going to come first and be like, this company does terrible looking roofs, right? Because people just don't think like people are scrolling quickly. And so you want it to be digestible clearly with just looking at a single image. Oh, before and after. Okay. So they're seeing both at the same time.
I think Facebook's photo generator actually allows you to do that.
Does that now? I was thinking
Yeah.
they had probably had something for that.
Yeah, when you create the post, you have the ability to do that inside of the post. You don't have to use like
Canva or anything.
Canva to create that and then post it. You can do it inside Facebook.
Even easier.
It's so easy too.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's key. When you do that, can you also type in before and after?
I think so.
Wow. Yeah.
It's been a bit since I've posted to Facebook, but I think so.
Well, it's been even longer for me. I didn't even I didn't even know that was a thing. So great. Um, good stuff. Okay. So we'll get another question here. How do you handle a prospect who wants to try to negotiate you down on your price?
I mean, I don't. I used to tell you we never negotiated, but I'll be honest with you. I mean, if they've got other quotes that they're willing, and maybe somebody doesn't like me saying this, but if you're willing to share with me that if you're telling me that you got a better price from one of my competitors, I'm going to say, but you'd rather use us, right? You'd rather use us, but you got a better price. Well, is comparable quote? Are we quoting apples to apples here? Well, I don't know. Okay, well, show me the quote. So if I can gain the knowledge of my competitor by seeing the quote, and some people may say that that's dirty, but I, I don't care. Everybody sees my shit. I don't care if they see it. Like
Yeah.
that's just part of it. Hopefully you see it and get your prices up. Quit cutting my throat. You know what I mean? So, um, but we'll negotiate some. If it's close and if it's the right project too. The something we look at real heavily is profit by day. So, for instance, our crew could do, say, if a crew can do 40 square shingles a day, that's a full day. Well, I would rather sell 40 square and say profit on, gross profit on that's, I would just say 10 grand for easy numbers, right? Well, 30 square is only 7 grand worth of gross profit. Well, if I can sell that 40 square roof at 8 grand worth of gross profit, come down off my price just a little bit, but I still make more money per day because you're not going to do that 30 square and then go start another job, right? That day is only going to get that 30 square done. So we look at things like that sometimes if people want to negotiate. But here's the problem. If it's a 18 square ranch house that at the end of the day, we're going to be done with it at lunch and we've got to line two of them up to get to make a full day. We can't really negotiate on those. You know what I mean? Like the price is kind of the price. We can't really change much. So
Right.
yeah, that's kind of how we handle it.
Yeah.
I went a
That
hundred
makes sense.
directions there, but
Yeah.
yeah,
It's just kind of situational, but
it's very situational. But we want to gain something out. If we're going to take a little bit of a beating on the price, we at least want to know, okay, what's our competitor beating us on?
yeah.
Or maybe they're not beating us at all and they're doing a layover. They're not even tearing off the existing roof. Well, no, I'm not giving you a discount. The guy's not even tearing it off. Like,
Right.
and that happens.
Yeah. Yep. But then it's an education problem because then you're like,
Exactly.
let's talk about why it's important to tear off before you
Exactly.
install new.
Yeah. And they didn't even know the other guy wasn't tearing off. That's the bad part.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. All right, guys. So we're continuing to just work through our questions that we have on our end, but we would love to answer your all's questions. So please, if you guys have anything you want to ask us, put that in the Q&A at the bottom of Zoom, and we'll answer your questions instead. Otherwise, we're just going to keep going through our own. Um, how would getting a CRM system improve our company and sales process relative to tracking everything in Excel and on paper?
Oh my God, it's just not close. And you're coming from a guy that used to do everything, not even on Excel, but it was on a whiteboard in my office. And we had magnets. It was a humongous whiteboard. It was like 12 feet wide, about like 6 feet tall, humongous. I had these little magnets, and we write their names on with dry erase, and everything was organized on this whiteboard, right? And it worked. Like we didn't drop too many balls, but the thing was, is like it was just a mess all the time, and didn't help us get ahead. It didn't help us sell anything. It didn't help us produce any time saving things. So like with a CRM, I mean, and we'll just talk about ProLine for instance, because that's what we love. Uh, you once you set it up one time, which doesn't take that long. Once you get it set up and you get your pricing and you get everything in there, my sales guys can write quotes in under 5 minutes, full, very detailed, very ornate quotes in under 5 minutes. Um, they can turn that quote into a detailed, itemized invoice in 30 seconds. Um, we can send automated follow up. All you gotta do is set it up, and then it's literally as your contacts move through the pipeline, they get messaging, you know, based on the criteria that's given. So they get sales follow up if they're in a sales follow up campaign, or they get invoice reminders if you've sent them the invoice. So um, all those things, and then the history and the record keeping. You know, uh, with a spreadsheet and stuff, yeah, you have some kind of record keeping, but there's no way to really utilize that list for anything. Like you're not getting any data from it. You're not getting reporting. You're not getting, like it's such a complex beast to try to navigate through in a CRM and in ProLine, especially. You got a nice dashboard with all the reporting from everything that's going on inside of those pipelines. So you know what your accounts receivable is right offhand. You know what your dollar value for quote sent is. You know what your conversion rate for your sales reps are from a lead to a sold job. And that's the stuff we need to know as business owners. And if you think you're getting that data from a spreadsheet, if you are wasting enormous amounts of time. So that's the big thing, is how much time are you willing to save? Because I save tons of it by not fooling with that shit anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in the the standard is continuing to rise too. It's like that whiteboard, there's only so much space in the whiteboard.
Yeah,
But like with and this is not true of all CRMs, but good CRMs are continuing to improve, build out new functionality, new features, now building in AI features. So without you even having to do anything, you're going to benefit from that over time. Your system on which your business is running is being leveled up and improved automatically. And it's because you're kind of, you're on that system alongside a lot of other contractors that everyone's contributing. So it's kind of it's a group benefit. And yeah, I mean, there's crazy stuff that's coming down the pipe, at least for ProLine, um, that we're going to be adding in. We talk about canvassing. We have a question here from Jagan for canvassing. We're about to hit. So we should have V1 of our canvassing tool in ProLine by end of Q1. Maybe even sooner, but that's just another example of like one more thing. I mean, you can't track your knocked doors on a whiteboard, you
right.
know?
Yeah,
It's like you got to have a system that, goes out to those devices that people are carrying in the field. So, um, all right. So yeah, question here from Jagan. What's a good strategy for hiring, recruiting canvassers for specific regions? What's been your best strategies, Scott? I mean, have you really built up canvassing teams before?
well, not really. I hired a team of people, and it included a couple canvassers at that time, but I wouldn't call that recruiting canvassers. But I tell you, I think there's a couple ideas. I think in my area where we're very seasonal, summertime is our busy time. I think the local colleges, like community colleges, stuff like that, would be a great place to hire some younger guys that or younger women even that are willing to go walk, put some miles on, knock doors, do that. But freaking Facebook, man, you get in these roofing groups, there's tens of thousands of people in these groups that, and not all of them are canvassers by any means, but they're all follow some sort of the roofing business, right? And there's, what is there, AJ? 30 of these groups,
At
and
least, yeah.
at least, and some of them have hundreds of thousands of people in them. You can post in them things. Like, I'm pretty sure if I wanted to hire a sales rep, I could just say, and post in like five of these groups looking for a sales rep in Marietta, Ohio. I'd probably get 20 applicants. Like, it's, and nobody lives in Marietta, Ohio, but they live close enough in the surrounding area that they would come work here if the deal was right. So, um, that's where the audience is at. That's where an easy place would be to get some applicants for sure.
Yeah. I think it also depends on what stage your canvassing team or teams is at, because you don't want to hire someone that's not done canvassing to be your first canvasser,
Right.
right? So either because then you're gonna have, even if you're good at canvassing, you're gonna have to spend so much time with that person and train them up, because it is such a skill set. Whereas you are probably better off trying to find at least your first one as someone like through these groups, or or just put an ad locally, but just say, hey, previous canvassing experience required. There's a lot of canvassers out there, so you should be able to find somebody and then build the team around them. Build them up, and then maybe you would eventually turn them into a manager. But find one. That would be my advice, is like find someone that kind of knows what they're doing to be your first one. Um, Assuming that, that you are the owner, so you have a lot more responsibilities than just canvassing. Um, but then like once I mean, because I did canvassing at one stage, and I was actually I did a lot of my buddies did it in college, so you can get college guys, but that's also like they're gonna treat it like a summer job. So it depends on whether you might be okay with that, but depends on what you want to do. But I did canvassing for a summer, and like right after college, and they just approached it from essentially like kind of control your own hours. You're essentially your own business. And so I think you can kind of, there's multiple angles to approach it. You can approach it as, hey, it's a great summer job, you'll make lots of money, or you can approach it from hey, like you can be kind of entrepreneurial, you can run your own business, quote unquote. 'Cause you put underneath your own LLC or something, you're an independent contractor. There's multiple ways to approach it, but that's that is what that's what I would add to that.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question, Jagan. Okay. So, for anyone else that's just joined, I think we had one more person that joined in. Let us know if you have any other questions. We would love to answer y'all's questions, but we're just going to go through our questions here. I feel like we just answered that last week. One second. How should we be using email marketing in our roofing business?
I actually just sent out a big MailChimp campaign today. I don't remember, a couple thousand contacts in that. Um, and basically, because we just completed the Improvify financing platform training, we now offer financing down to a 550 FICO. We offer, traditional financing that everybody's accustomed to, but then we're also offering, oh my goodness, what's it called when, like what a bank loan is? Uh, oh my God, why am I forgetting the name of it? Hold on, I've got the flyer
Um,
right here. Secured lending, secured lending. Sorry. So most loans in the financing world and contractor financing is unsecured, but those come with higher interest rates. You can go to a bank, get secured lending, you get better interest rates. It just usually takes 30 to 60 days. Now we're able to offer secured lending in 7 days through us. So you don't even have to go to the bank. So, we send out a mass email through MailChimp to all of our open quotes, even there's a bunch of lost jobs that we send to because they couldn't, whatever reason, but we still send it to them. And basically, it said something along the lines, "Hey, we have great new financing options. Check out what some of these look like, or whatever." And then through the mailer, we kind of lay out some of the options that we have. Um, and we try to do that on a weekly basis. We try to do a weekly newsletter through Mailchimp. Surprisingly, our open rate's really good, and our opt out rate's pretty low. But you want to be careful too. You don't want to be sending this to tons of people that have told you no, they hired someone else, because then they'll start marking you as spam, and then your email will get flagged as spam. So, we like to send it to people that we have open quotes with. We like to send it to customers that we completed jobs for. Because who knows, maybe that'll be a referral. Like they saw the financing thing, their sister needs a roof and but doesn't have the cash for it. Well, hey sis, here's Rain Stoppers is offering this now, whatever. So but just be careful who don't just blast it to everybody. And we did that and it screwed us all up. I sent it out to like 5,000 people, and I mean, all of our emails got our whole domain got marked as spam. So we changed some stuff, made it work a little bit nicer, and now we have no issues.
Yeah. Yeah, good list segmentation is important for sure. And like
Yeah.
this is part of the reason we really want to have this feature in ProLine eventually because then it's easier to kind of keep track of who has said no and who hasn't. You would be able to segment based on who's in your lost, like who's, currently in lost and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, MailChimp is what we use here at ProLine too for right now until we have our own tool. And it's a great platform for that one to many communication. And yeah, that you want to, and if you can, like once a week is a really good cadence. My recommendation is always try to do one purely value driven email to and I don't know how you guys are doing this, Scott, but this when I was running like email for multiple clients, we would do one we'd post a blog post. So for most people, I actually only did twice a month, though you can definitely do more. But we would do once a month, we would do a blog, we'd post a new blog post and we would have a little like snippet from the blog post and a link to the blog post, and we'd push that out. It's like, hey, we have this new blog post. It's about XYZ. Here's the long and the short of it. Click here to view more. So we'd promote blog posts. So it's value driven. And then the other email would be some sort of promotional kind of sales thing. And like trying to keep that ratio, better if you can do like 2 to 1, like two value to one. Um, so that's always what I found because that's going to help with avoiding, but like keeping the list from a lot of people from, opting out or complaining or marking you as spam. But even those like even those value driven emails, those can drive sales. Like those value if you just send a link to a blog post, like it's still essentially an advertisement for your company. Like you don't even have to say that it's an advertisement. But if you're sending out an article, you know, 3 things to look for on your roof, 3 red flags to look for on your roof or something, this winter, right?
Right.
That's still an ad for you as a roofing company that also builds trust and authority. So there's like, it's not like you're just doing it for charity reasons. So
Right.
how do you guys balance that out? Like in the
But
content
yeah,
you're sending?
we don't offer tons of promotional stuff. Um, Mostly it's more value driven type stuff, like here's the financing that we're working on. Or we'll even do, because it is so often when you're going weekly, we'll do like it's just kind of like a weekly newsletter. Like, here's some updates, here's some cool projects we completed, whatever. Like,
Yeah. Which is
or
cool, yeah.
even posting something local, like something about what's going on locally in the community. Something very small segment of that, and then an update of some of the most recent projects we finished. Um, the only time we do promotional, I would say we only do it a few times a year. for us, just because like in the fall we'll do gutter guard, like a gutter guard promotion, or late summer we'll run something like that. We may this spring run a 0% interest on financing promotion, um, just to try to build a backlog with some 0% interest customers. But yeah, I mean, we don't do a whole lot else. We may run like a 50% off gutter at some point, like we've done that in the past with the purchase of a new roof. You buy a new roof, we give you 50% off the gutter. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of about it for us. Roofing's so hard to do promotional on because everything's so expensive. Like,
Yeah.
it's like I see stuff on Facebook all the time. We've done some great giveaways. I mean, we've given away at least one roof a year for the last few years. We did one whole house, siding roof, the whole deal. But like one of those is, ten to $20,000. This is not like, you see people, these other businesses doing charitable things, which is fantastic, but they're giving out gift cards to their store or their restaurant and it's $100. Well, which is awesome. That's a great thing that they're doing. It's what if I give a gift card out to some customers for $100 off your roof? The chances of them even using it are slim to none because it's $20,000 ticket that they don't need for the next 10 years. You know what I mean? So it's like it's just a hard business to do promotion in, I feel like. There's very few opportunities for it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
do you
Totally
think? You
agree.
got something on your tongue.
No, I was gonna disagree with that. I think or agree with that completely. I mean, I think it's one of the it's more a game of trust is what I was gonna say. Roofing is there's other types of services like cleaning and pressure washing businesses that's like heavily run off of promotions, right?
Yes.
It's like it's you got to get people just to pull the trigger, and like one of the best ways to do that is running, constantly running some kind of promotion. Roofing is more of a game because you don't have to really trust your pressure washer. It's such a small ticket item. It's like even if they do a bad job, just don't hire them again, right? But with the roof, it's such a trust game, and so like if you're, I think that's really smart approaching it like you're doing with primarily like sharing examples of your work, talking about how you're developing out, the financing and stuff like that, because that's building trust. It's building like, oh, this company takes what they're doing seriously, and it's kind of like familiarity over time. Oh, I'm seeing emails from these guys all the time. Every time I see them, it's something like valuable. It's
Right.
something that shows that they know what they're doing, and that adds up over time. With and regardless of whether you ever hit them with a coupon of any kind or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. Um. Cool. So, hey, if you guys have any other questions, we still have time for a few more questions. So, if you guys have any more questions, put those in the chat, and we'll answer those. Otherwise, we're just gonna keep going through ours. So this question is, we need a new website. Who should I have build my website for me?
Actually, so I don't know this for a fact. You might know this. Is I think Dima does website builds. I know he's bit like the SEO guru, and he did a fantastic job for me. I couldn't be happier.
Yeah,
Um, but I think he will actually start from scratch if you want at a obviously at an additional fee. And my mind tells me there's tons of guys. I know Tim Brown, I think I've seen some of his work. I don't know Tim, he doesn't know me, but I do know what I've seen is fantastic.
yeah,
I just know what I've used personally. And if I was to redo a website as good as my SEO stuff went with Dima, I would think I would have him build my website just because I would think that it would even further the agenda of SEO if he built the website. But
yeah,
I'm sure Tim's just as good because I've seen the quality and the creativeness in his, and they're really, really nice looking. So
yeah,
I think those would be the two I would be choosing from.
yeah. I would absolutely agree with that. I think they're probably the two top choices right now that I've seen. However, I want to kind of break this down because if you're new into the roofing business, I think it is a mistake. And I think Dima and Tim, at least I know Tim would agree with me on this. If you're like less than 2 million in annual revenue and you're just getting started, you do not need to be hiring any sort of agency to set up your website. Uh, Ideally, like very strongly ideally, you as the owner or someone else that's coming in as the owner, maybe your partner, maybe it's your spouse, somebody else that's like in the business every single day from the beginning, not just an employee, but someone that owns an ownership interest in the business should build out that website using something like Wix, Squarespace. I don't recommend WordPress because that's going to get super technical. Like Wix and Squarespace are kind of the two market leaders. There's some new ones that are coming on the scene that are like very AI driven. So there are some other options there. But Wix and Squarespace are kind of like the established players. Now, it's like it's gonna take some work. Like they have AI stuff, so they can like build out kind of something basic, but it's gonna suck. Like you're gonna have to go in, replace a lot of stuff, rewrite a lot of stuff. But the thing is, at when you're first getting started, like as we've talked about before, a lot of your business is coming from friends, family, network. You do need a website, but you're not going to get the returns out of that website that you will when you're bigger. And so you just need something that works. Get something basic out there with your brand on it, with a contact form. We like for example for ProLine, we you can't sign up for ProLine without a website. You have to have a website because that's how you get approved for phone carrier stuff and for merchant accounts is through your website. So you have to have a website for a lot of things. Sometimes you can't even open a bank account without a website. But so you do have to have that website, but it just doesn't need to be all the bells and whistles when you're first getting started. And I think a lot of people make that mistake is going too early to someone like Hook Agency or Deem. I don't know what Deem is pricing it, but they go too early and they end up over their end up spending way more money than they can afford to, and then they get frustrated and they end up canceling the SEO or whatever else is going on. And I think the key is like you got to kind of figure out how to do it on your own first. Then once you're up, I'd say at least at the 2 million, ideally like 3 million plus, then you start thinking about, okay, it's not the best use of my time to be like managing this website. Can I have Hook Agency rebuild it for me or Dima rebuild it for me? And they, square it all the way, make it really pretty, make it good for SEO, and do all the bells and whistles. That's my and so my background is I had an agency. I ran an agency before I started ProLine. So for contractors, and I think I was like I was not very good at running an agency. I did not charge enough, so I did actually work with a lot of really small companies, but it only worked because I didn't charge very much. And honestly, what Hook Agency and Dima do are way nicer than anything I ever did. So um, I just think the best outcome is control your website, spend as little money as possible, get up to the 2 to 3 million mark. You should be able to get there without a nice website, and then do the fancy website.
I like it.
So, um, all right. I think we got time for one more question here. Um, oh, this is a good one that kind of builds on this. This is a really good one. Okay. I keep getting emails about my website or my SEO being broken and or bad. What do I do about it?
I mean, I still get those emails myself, so yeah, I ignore the shit out of them. I have literally 3 to 5 times a week I get an email from somebody offering to get rid of bad Google reviews for me. I have one, and it's from 2 years ago. And it's 2 stars, not even a 1 star, it's a 2 star. I've got one. And it's like one, how desperate are these people to they had to search hard to find that one lonely review at the bottom of my page. But it's like, no, I just ignore all that shit because it's not right. It's easy to figure out. There's some software, I can't remember the name of it. I'm sure you know the name of it. The software that you can buy, or I think you pay like a small fee for to use to kind of track your uh, ranking inside of Google. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I mean, you can see where, like, if you're here, you can see where you rank in the different areas surrounding your main area.
Yep.
Uh,
The pins,
right. Yeah. And
ranking
that,
pins.
or you can just go type in Google, roofers near me and see where you land.
Yeah.
If you don't show up, you probably got a problem. If you show up at the bottom, you probably need to start doing some work. If after 6 months you still show up at the very bottom, you probably need to talk to somebody else about helping you.
Yeah.
We are not in a very big market, but we've done very well off just doing the basics for a lot of time, just getting good 5-star reviews, replying to the reviews consistently, updating the pages, adding photos to Google, just doing really basic stuff just consistently, and we rank very well just doing the basics.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yes, I'll ignore those emails.
No, yeah, ignore those emails. It's absolutely a strategy. Like in that I remember I never did those emails. I don't think we ever did those emails. I always just went through my network when I did agency. I never got very big. But like it's just a strategy they use. They all, especially like a lot of non-reputable agencies, the ones that are really just trying to take advantage of you, they use that strategy because they can't attract clients any other way. And it's cheap to send the emails out. And so they just blanket everybody with these emails. Oh, we analyzed your website and, this, and this and are broken. And the reality is like they're either not broken or they are like really matters of preference rather than actual technical things. So like it's and the yeah, it's absolutely something that you just need to ignore.
Yeah.
Do not talk to those people. Do not have them analyze your website. Go through the trusted parties that people are talking about in roofing groups or referred from other reputable partners that you trust. So, and yeah, Hook Agency and Dima are the two that I would recommend. There are definitely other good ones. Those are just the two I'm the most familiar with, I think, for you as well. Um, all right. Oh yeah, there's a number of things. So there's the website SEO, there's the removing bad Google reviews. I feel like there's one other kind of scam thing that people like to
The
send
one
out.
I absolutely hate is the ones wanting to write estimates for me. I'll get 4 a day of those, maybe five.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. Let me just look. I'll just tell you. I send them straight to spam. Uh, let's see right here.
Yeah, that's a newer
I bet
one.
you it's one of the first ones. Oh nope. First one was remove false reviews for Rainstoppers Roofing. Uh, here's Hudson Arthur. Estimate your project. Hope you're well. Do you have any jobs for us regarding estimation? Dude, I get like 5 a day of those. No, I don't need you to estimate my projects for me. Like, no, I'm pretty sure I can handle that part.
You got a pro line for that.
And I've literally never done it. I've never responded, and I get like 5 a day. So they're after me. But just ignore all that shit. Send them spam. That way they quit showing up and quit wasting your time.
Yeah. All right. So we're just about out of time. So we'll wrap it up there. Thanks everybody for joining today. We had a good crowd, which is always exciting. Um, enjoyed having you guys. Thanks for all the questions. And we will, yeah, no, we had no additional questions. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Thanks, guys.
You guys.